Well, hello everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that piece of music that was playing. I wanted to send a message with that music. That is why I decided to let it play and be silent for the first few seconds of the video. Now, this is actually the second video that I'm recording regarding the subject matter, which is public defenders, better known as public pretenders. Now, in the first video, which I recorded a few days ago, the language used was pretty harsh. So I decided to record this video using language that is much tamer. For those of you who have virgin ears or who just can't stand to listen to profanity. Now, to recap that video, or to recap what I mentioned in that video, I talked about how messed up the public defender system is. And it is quite messed up. In general, the public defender system is set up to epically fail. Now, first of all, not everyone who is represented by a, if you want to call it that, because they really don't represent, public defenders pretend to defend. So anyway, the system is set up to epically fail. Now, granted, public defenders' offices all over the U.S., the funding is low, the public defenders are overworked, underpaid. I understand all that. But the bottom line is they're getting paid to do something. And they're getting paid to defend the defendants. But they're not doing that. Public defenders want to get the case off their desk as soon as possible by any means necessary. And that includes railroading a person, or at least trying to. Now, being involved in a legal situation where you're having to deal with the public defender or any other attorney, especially if it's a felony or misdemeanor. Well, misdemeanors aren't so bad, but if you're facing felony charges, I mean, that can be stressful enough. But you would expect that the public defender would at least try to defend the person. But unfortunately, they do not. Public defenders are in cahoots with the district attorney's office, the prosecutors. Believe me when I say that. The paychecks come from the same place. Public defenders and DAs, their paychecks are written by the state. So in essence, they both have the same boss. Conflict of interest? I would say so. But defending individuals is a game that the public defenders and the district attorney's office plays. As I mentioned in the other video, they're likely saying to each other, you give me something, I give you something, and then we'll do lunch. And then they actually do lunch. I think it was last year, I saw a movie with Al Pacino, a young Al Pacino. And he was a public defender. He portrayed a public defender in the movie. And OMG, I tell you, the accuracy of that movie was pretty scary, because that is how some public defenders' offices work. And the title of the movie, I think, was Justice for All, and Justice for All. And again, it's a young Al Pacino. If you haven't seen the movie, you really should. Now, regarding Black Lives Matters, Black lives do matter. But you wouldn't think so dealing with the public defender's office. To them, in my opinion, to the public defender, a Black life means nothing. It's very unfortunate that society is as screwed up as it is when it comes to the legal system and when it comes to Black lives. The system, it appears that the legal system, goes out of its way to incarcerate Black individuals more so than they do other races. There's a lot of profiling, stereotyping. It's just like, what the heck is going on? And it's seemingly getting worse. The system is out of control. The authorities, the legal system, it's out of control. I mean, it's like a different form of slavery for Black individuals these days. I mean, sure, they can't get the water hoses and the German shepherds and burn crosses on lawns like they used to. But the prejudice has not gone anyway. It has not gone anywhere. It has just changed its face. And prejudice is quite rampant in the public defender's office. And it's quite obvious. So if a person does not handle their business, if they're having to be represented, if you want to call it that, by the public defender, they're in for a railroad job. The public defenders typically don't want to hear anything that's going to help you in your case. Again, all they want to do is get the case off their desk as soon as possible by any means necessary. And one of those means is trying to get the individual to accept a plea bargain, whether it's good or not. Whether the defendant enters the plea bargain, accepts the plea bargain, goes to trial, the public defender gets paid regardless. It's not like they're not going to get paid if the defendant does not enter a plea. Honestly, I don't see how some of them sleep at night. Because what some of those public defenders do is quite shisty and underhanded. And trust me, just because they have a law degree does not mean that they're above board. You have a lot of them that will try to, I'm going to keep the language as clean as possible. So you have a lot of public defenders who will go out of their way to make it difficult for the defendant. And in some cases, they'll even do underhanded stuff to try to get the defendant in more trouble. It doesn't matter if a person is innocent. It doesn't matter if they're guilty. The public defender has in their mind, when that case comes across their desk, they have in their mind that this person is guilty. There is no, innocent, before proven guilty. A person is innocent before proven guilty. No, the public defender already has it in their mind that this person, that person, and whoever is guilty. Don't try to provide them with information, documentation, or whatever to prove your innocence, because more than likely they're just going to, quote unquote, lose it, or they're not going to remember what you're talking about. In my opinion, one of the main reasons why prisons and jails are so overcrowded is because public pretenders do not defend. They pretend to defend. They actually do as little as possible on a case. For a matter of fact, some probably don't even read the case. They don't even know what's going on. Who needs the district attorney to try to screw you? Which they do try to do that. Who needs the district attorney to try to screw you when your own attorney is doing a damn good job of it for them? And that's what the public defenders do. They help the district attorneys. So don't be fooled by a public pretender who's smiling in your face and saying that he or she wants to help you. Because a good chance is, no, he or she does not want to help you. They just want to get the case off their desk. So individuals do not have to go along with what public defenders say. Do your research, handle your business. Go online, Google low-cost legal representation, legal clinics, legal libraries. Help yourself, because a public defender is not there to help you. If anything, they're there to hinder you and just add you to one of the statistics behind bars. Do you think they really care? They don't. They don't. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by that. They do not care. Public pretenders do not care about the people that they're representing. Now, I can't speak for all public defenders, but I can tell you that a good number of them don't care. Again, they want the case off their desk by any means necessary. So for those of you who are out of custody, it's easier for you to exercise your rights than for those who are in custody. But you still have rights in custody. And always, always request to see the evidence or the discovery that has been presented by the district attorney's office. Now, in certain cases, there are some things that you're not going to be able to see, but it is your right. It is your right to see the evidence or discovery that has been brought against you. And don't let the public defender talk you into taking a plea bargain. Take your chances on trial. Unless you're blatantly guilty, unless it's hands down, slam dunk, you have no chance. Take your chances at trial. It is your right to have a trial. John Oliver is an online host with a show titled Last Week Tonight, and he did a show on public defenders. In his show, he stated that approximately 95% of cases handled by the public defender's office ends with a plea bargain. And in most cases, those plea bargains are not a bargain at all, especially if you're innocent, especially if you've not done anything. Why are you going to enter a plea bargain? Yeah, they try to scare you with, oh, this and that, yada, 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 yada. Handle your business. Go online. Go to legal clinics if you can. Contact a low-cost legal clinic or legal firm. In some states, they do have legal firms who charge on a sliding scale basis. They charge based on a person's income. You want to look up those firms. You want to see if you can get help, because if you do not seek help elsewhere, consider yourself done if you have to be represented by a public defender, because you're not going to be represented at all. You're going to be railroaded. Now, Black people, as well as other races, need to handle their business, not put their trust in the public defender. And I don't care what color the public defender is, black, white, pink, purple, whatever. They all work in the same office. And they pretty much all think the same way, or most of them think the same way. So be proactive. Be proactive in your case. Don't just sit there and roll over and let the public defender suggest to you to do this, to do that. Well, you should do this, you should do that. Well, why don't you just take the deal and I'll file an appeal for you? Oh, please. If they're not doing anything for you when you're out of custody, what makes you think they're going to do anything more if you're in custody? Don't be fooled, people. Handle your business. Handle your business. Be proactive. Do your homework. Do not trust what the public defenders tell you. What they say, what they're telling you is not gospel. And likely what they're telling you is a crock of you know what. So, handle your business. Your life matters. Black lives matter. You do not want to end up as a statistic behind bars. because you allowed a public defender to railroad you or talk you into doing something or accepting a plea when you should not have. Make them do their jobs. Make them do what they're getting paid for. Okay, fine. Yeah, sure, they have a voluminous number of cases, and it is said that they only have approximately 7 minutes to work on a case. 7 minutes. Yeah, really, 7 minutes. What can 7 minutes do? Absolutely nothing. So that's why you, the individual, have to be active, proactive in your case. You have to be your own lawyer, because with a public defender, you really don't have a lawyer. Basically, all you have is an attorney with name on the record. But in actions, they're not doing anything to help you. Help yourself. Do not rely on the public defender to help you, because if you do, you're up a creek without a paddle. And on that note, I will sign off, and I hope that you can and will handle your business.